This weekend, Brisbane's Lord Mayor will formalise his switch to state politics. On Sunday, Campbell Newman will be pre-selected to run in the Brisbane seat of Ashgrove. Then, on Monday, he'll face the LNP party room and ask MPs to endorse him as their leader. The contest between Campbell Newman and Anna Bligh is shaping up as one of the most fascinating in recent times. The man behind the scenes concentrating on Labor's strategy and getting election ready is the ALP's State Secretary, Anthony Chisholm. It's clear he intends capitalising on any confusion over the LNP leadership as the contest heats up. I spoke with Mr Chisholm earlier. Anthony Chisholm, the game has changed with a new LNP leader in Campbell Newman. How much harder has the task of hanging on to power become for Labor?
Well, I think it's changed in terms of the Liberals and Nationals potentially have a new leader. But I think we should look at the last 12 days. Since Campbell Newman announced he was abandoning Brisbane, we saw Fiona Simpson challenge Jeff Zenny for the leadership, failed by 3 votes. We saw John Paul Langbroek and Lawrence Springborg dumped by the faceless men of the LNP. We get closer to the last couple of days, the CMC announced they're investigating this whole LNP circus. So I think what's clear now is that the people of Queensland, 11 days later, still don't know who's going to be Premier if the Liberals and Nationals win Parliament. I think people of Queensland would just be scratching their heads.
The seat of Ashgrove, Campbell Newman is confident of winning it. How much extra resources are we going to see pumped into that electorate by Labor to try to get Kate Jones across the line?
Well, the great thing about Kate Jones is that she's always lived in that area, she's passionate about the local community, and indeed it's the only seat she wants to represent, whereas Campbell Newman, it's emerged that it was actually his 4th choice. So I think the people of Ashgrove, with Campbell Newman, are being taken for granted. I think there'll be some resentment towards that he's just using this as a stepping stone as part of his campaign to take over Queensland. I think the people of Ashgrove will want a good local representative, and Kate Jones has been that, and I think she will do a good job as she continues to do that.
As I understand it, and it wouldn't be a surprise that Labor's doing some internal polling in that seat, what's that research saying?
Not something which I'm going to divulge, obviously, but what we're confident in, and I was out there campaigning with Kate on Saturday, she got a fantastic response from local people. It's the hard work that she's done over the last 6-7 years that I think is going to hold her in good stead this year. She's a committed local, she's got a great track record, and she's not someone I'd want to be up against in a political fight.
What advice are you giving to Anna Bligh about the timing of an election?
Not up for me to decide. The Premier will call an election when she wants to.
But she would take advice from you.
My job's to be ready for when she wants to call it, and that's what we will be ready. But the Premier's indicated that she wants to get on with the job of rebuilding Queensland. If anything comes in the way of that, then she would consider her options, but that's what she's focused on for the moment.
There's already been a trend toward more presidential-style campaigns in Queensland, but do you think this one will be more about the leaders than ever before, Anna Bligh versus Campbell Newman?
Well, I definitely think it'll be more about the leaders, because I think on the LNP side we're going to have 2 or 3 or 4 leaders, and I think that's going to be the key issue during the campaign and as we get closer to election day. We've got a strong...
Campbell Newman is saying it's a choice between him or Anna Bligh.
Well, that's just patently ridiculous. What happens if he doesn't win Ashgrove? That's the one thing they have still not been able to answer 11 days after he announced he was abandoning Brisbane. They haven't been able to tell us what would happen then. That's going to be a key issue as we get closer to election.
Well, their answer is, I guess, what happens if Anna Bligh doesn't win her seat and Labor hangs on to government?
Yeah, but they're vastly different issues. The Premier has held her seat since 1995. It's a relatively safe Labor seat. Campbell Newman is contesting a seat against Kate Jones, who's been a sitting member for a number of years and holds the seat within a 7.7% margin. That is going to be a significant challenge for him. We think that this is an elaborate plot by Jeff Zenny to ride into the premiership on the back of Campbell Newman. This is going to be a significant issue, and I think Queenslanders will be scratching their heads about this.
You mentioned the faceless men before, and there has been some criticism even from within the LNP about the intrusion of faceless men. But Labor can hardly take the high moral ground here, can they?
Well, you've seen no intrusion into the leadership of the Labor Party, like what you've seen from the Liberals and Nationals over the last couple of weeks. Just an amazing situation where they basically dictated terms to the caucus, who rolled over, and Langbroek and Springborg fell on their sword. completely remarkable outcome.
But Anna Bligh has talked about the New South Wales disease. Look at what happened in New South Wales, in Canberra. There has been this intrusion by faceless men, hasn't there?
Well, we're here talking about Queensland and Premier Anna Bligh, who's a strong leader of the state but also the Parliamentary Labor caucus. She has rock-solid support and a very strong foundation behind her within the party.
Are you going to be around for the next state campaign, or the talk is that you're off to Canberra to take over as National Secretary?
Oh no, absolutely I'll be around and involved in the next state campaign. It's obviously something I really enjoy, and I'm passionate about my home state, so I'll still be having an active role in the Queensland campaign no matter what happens over the next month or two.
But not necessarily as State Secretary of the ALP?
Not necessarily, but certainly will be active during the campaign.
Anthony Chisholm, thank you.
Thank you.
And we hope the LNP's leader-in-waiting, Campbell Newman, will join us on the program next week.